There's a whole group of Vermonters that doesn't know classical music has been a big part of the history of Vermont. So many Vermonters you talk to about Marlborough, they don't know what you're talking about. One of my crusades is to let Vermonters know this stuff happened and it's here.
I'm the Director of Development here at the Music Center. My other life here is as a student of flute. When I started here about 6 years ago, we used to say we had students from 3 to 93.
That's a really amazing span.
When we say it's music school, it's for all ages. And when the school is up and running and we're sort of fully enrolled, there's 400 plus students.
How do you see this building being a house for bringing wide generation of community members?
I like to think that this is what we've always been. We were founded in 1952 by Blanche Onegger-Moïse, obviously deep, distinguished classical roots. So in some ways, it's now nearly 70 years ago. She saw, the opportunity and the need within the community for an arts organization.
Blanche Moïse, I should say Blanche and Louis Moïse, were the parents of music in Vermont. They came from Europe at the end of World War II. Of course, like a lot of European musicians, they were broke.
Destitute, right?
To found the music department at Marlborough College. But more famous, they founded with Rudolf Serkin and Adolf Busch, they founded Marlborough Music Festival.
Which is known worldwide. It's the peak. I know as a student, all I heard was if you want to be in the best music festival in the world, it's Marlborough that you go to.
Next to Ben & Jerry's, it's the most famous cultural institution in Vermont.
Over the years, we moved out of the Moïse home to a former convent on Walnut Street in Brattleboro, where we were temporarily for almost 40 years. A lot of generosity came together, a lot of hard work came together, and in 2017, we moved to this new home.
Right across the way is our music center. That had been a former school.
We were able to redesign for a proper music school with isolated studios, good sound acoustics. And then the dream was this hall that we're sitting in.
For pianists, you play different piano all the time. It's a disadvantage in a way, but also it's fun. Sometimes you just encounter amazing piano, and all of a sudden you feel like you're like 100 times better pianist. It can happen the other way, and that was, but then you have to kind of live with it.
We have a diminuendo.
I have a crescendo and then
I teach in a university, actually not too far away from here at Amherst College.
Yes.
For me, teaching is an integral part of me being a pianist.
So many notes right there.
If I were just performing, for me, I think it's just too stressful.
I know. But I want to do this.
And teaching, I learn so much from actually trying to explain what I do. If my student's having a trouble spot, I analyze it. How am I doing it? So it's a complementary part of my being an artist.
We always had this vision that it would be truly like a school campus where people would be crisscrossing, coming to sing, coming to do cello, coming to do voice. And that element has been missing.
With the Moïse, you were talking about how they had first after World War II, because musicians were very much in a situation like we are right now. There's no money for anything in the arts because people need to eat. For me, it's the idea that suffering sometimes motivates us to think outside the box, think with our hearts and our passions about what really matters in life.
Of course, that's the nice way of putting it.
Okay.
What happens is desperation, and desperation has the same effect.
We've had to rethink everything we do. We've had to reinvent ourselves.
Bringing faculty to a place where they were more comfortable using the tools online. So, we had 30 plus faculty trying to scramble to hold on to a number of lessons.
Flutes are a really difficult instrument to play during COVID. I've been lucky enough to have a Zoom lesson every week, and it's the highlight of my COVID experience, frankly.
Like all of us, they've learned the limits of the tools, the advantages of the tools, the moments, the precious moments between teacher and student do happen remotely as well.
It works. It's not perfect. We can't play duets together because Zoom is in sync that way, but we sure can get a lot out of that hour.
Because we had the new center, because we've got new ventilation systems, individual lessons came back. We spent a lot of time with tape measures.
People are starting to come back, but it's been slow.
You know, we're still down, I think, roughly 2/3 in terms of total enrollment.
But what it's done, I think, for our staff is to bring us closer as a team, because we've really been challenged by our situation, and we've, I think, pretty much done a good job of coming up with solutions to keep music going. You need music all the time. We need it for so many reasons, and maybe more so at a time like this.
Mendelssohn's D minor trio is probably one of the most famous piano trio repertoire. It's pure beauty.
I think with that piece, there's a sense of both pure peace and then these moments where it's as if you're reflecting on the difficulties in life. So like the bass is something of just utter beauty, of peace. But there's the tensions are so wild in their way of just reflecting.
I was the most excited to play this. And I think we were smart to save it for the last day because there's also something a little nostalgic about it. And like, it made me, appreciate what we've done with this series and what we've accomplished together in a short time and what we've created under hard times. And it sort of felt like the right piece for that for me. I hope one thing that comes out of the series is not just like, wow, that's a beautiful hall, but the amount of resilience that has come out from these halls, the stories of making it work, the stories of creating new things, the stories of keeping everything still running and pushing forward. I have a new love for Vermont. I have a new love for the concert halls, and not just the halls, but the people that I don't think we ever would have met had we just shown up and played a concert, because you meet the presenter and the person that's letting you in and shows you the green room. But there's so many hundreds of other important players behind these series and behind these community centers and these music schools and these halls. I'm so thankful now to have a broader picture and scope of what goes into arts organizations and venues.
Yeah, that the passion is not just on stage, it's the people who are putting people on stage, it's the audiences that are coming in.
A concert is never just a concert. A concert is a huge effort to bring something to a community, and I hope that everyone has a new appreciation for how much they missed it during COVID, what it can be, and the people behind it.